All right, so gonna get right to it. The co-founder CEO of Biointerative Technology. Quick plug-in about what we do, and then I'm going to share the 3 lessons that I've kind of distilled to share with you all. And thank you for the opportunity. And hopefully, my intention is that you walk away with one of them and go home and probably do some Googling. So that would be my success metric after this presentation. So quickly, who knows about carpal tunnel syndrome here? Yeah, so we help people recover faster from that condition and eventually prevent it with our MedTech wearable that I'm wearing right here. So that's it. That's all I'm going to say for the company. The 3 lessons that I want to share with you is, first of all, get to know yourself really well if you go down the startup journey. Number 2, get comfortable being uncomfortable. Thank you, Vivian, for mentioning that earlier. And the importance of mentorship. And I'm going to share an anecdote of my time in my company where all of these 3 became very valuable. So let's start with number 1. When I first started this company about 3.5 years ago, I led a small technical team just out of grad school, never built a product, never took product to market, and never led a technical team. So I had all that stacked against me. And I did a decent job, but to be honest, I didn't thrive in it. And reflecting on that, I realized that, going through the reflection journey is I didn't really fully understand my strengths and weaknesses. So I went down the personality tests, figured that out, and figured out that my strengths are input, learner, intellectual, harmony, and self-assurance. And I'm a much better suited to be an evangelist for my company and maybe stand here and talk about it. So double down on your strength, no time to work on your weaknesses. And pretty much align your strength with the role that you'll have in your startup or the company you're starting. Second one is getting comfortable being uncomfortable. One thing I had to learn about a year and a half ago, and you learn a lot of things in startups, not everything you want to, was marketing. And as a biomedical engineer or a person with biomedical engineering training, I never thought I would do that. I had to learn about integrated marketing, about the tools that are being used in the industry, the tactics, try them, implement them, something that was very painful for me, to be honest. But through that process, really learned the sheer power and importance of marketing. And I'm very glad I did that. But to kind of share with you what I really mean by getting comfortable, being uncomfortable, I'm going to ask you a question. Does anyone like moving out here? No one. I don't see a single hand. Maybe one? Wow. Okay. I need to talk to you after this. But pretty much, let's go through that process. So, you decide to move out. You don't like your roommates, or you don't like your apartment building or the house you're in, or your landlord wants you to leave. You got to find new house or new apartments or new roommates. You got to research that on Craigslist, contact them, coordinate an interview with them. Please bear with me. I'm walking you through that whole process. And you go interview with them. Maybe half of them answer back. You give them reference checks, background checks, and then nothing pans out. And at the same time, you've told your ex-landlord that you're moving out, so you need to keep your place kind of tidy for viewings. And then finally, one house comes back to you and says, "Hey, come on in, move in with us." And it's not your number 1 choice, but now you have a place to live, and now you have to move. So you start packing up, getting rid of old stuff, and you don't really have money to hire movers, and you want to maybe ask your friends, your community to help you, but you haven't really been seeing them or hanging out or socializing because maybe you're building a startup. So, finally maybe some family members come around and help you, and you finally move in and get acquainted. So that's what a startup is really like in high level. Same with fundraising, same with finding customers, and really the same with also finding employees, managing employees. You're somewhere in that process every day. And everyone hates moving. So that's what I mean by getting comfortable being uncomfortable. And the reality is, how do you get out of that alive? If you're in that every single day, I have found that the way to get out of that and still be positive and optimistic and wake up the next day and work on a startup is to surround myself by mentors, people that have been there and done that, because they understand the journey. And most people who have been there and done that want to actually share their knowledge and experience and their lessons so you can avoid their mistakes. And there are people out there that are just super happy, super successful people. They just want to invest, put time in you, and nothing, just for the sheer purpose of helping someone that they barely know. So that's it for me for the 3 lessons, 3 resources that hopefully you can, take back with you. Strength Finder 2.0, that's my favorite. It's probably free assessment if you sign up for Amazon or Kindle, or just pay for it. It's worth the money, $70. For getting comfortable being uncomfortable, there's a couple TED Talks, as well books, and some 4 articles around that. As for mentors, I would say the best way to get qualified mentors is really through incubators and accelerators, because they've done a lot of vetting on the other end, so you're not stuck with someone who's trying to be a consultant and trying to teach you something you don't know, but really is trying to make you a better version of yourself. So with that, thank you for your time.
Any questions here? No? Yes? Do I see a hand? Sorry, guys. It's really bright. Like, he's not lying. It's really bright. Yeah. Yes? No? Oh.
So there's actually a talk called Get Comfortable Being Uncomfortable. So if you just Google that statement, it hopefully pops up.
Great question there. I was wondering the same thing. Any other questions here? Oh, yeah. Okay, great. I see you guys.
So I would say that my weakness is I'm not deliberate, and as well, my core strength, especially on the tech side, was thinking strategically about the technology and how that would evolve over time. So my co-founder, CTO Gautam, does that exceptionally well.
Yeah, just a question here. Was there a role that you were expecting to be, and how did you reconcile that if there was a difference?
So at the start of the company, I was kind of doing everything. So once we grew and we were able to raise some capital and able to get people on payroll, I was finally able to just do what I do best, I believe, which is open doors and talk to people and make people believe in the vision that we have.
Awesome. Last question over here for this gentleman.
So you started off by talking about doubling down on your strengths, but then you kind of moved into dealing with the uncomfortable realities of marketing, which doesn't sound like your strength. How have you found balancing that? Because in reality, I find that sometimes I have to deal with my weaknesses. There's no way around it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's what I mean by double down is 80-20 rule. So you got to learn everything, and you got to know every aspect of the company and how it works, from marketing, finance, accounting, fundraising, customer success, all of it you got to know, but it's impossible to thrive in each one of those. But as a founder, it's your responsibility, I would say.